Terry, we must be doing something right, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Besides dancing in the background, if people saw that, they would probably just turn the stuff right off. Don't you think?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
But yeah, we're getting some emails. Hey, when does this horse racing today show start? And some folks are actually thinking about maybe sponsoring our show for the Breeders' Cup. So we got a couple of emails in that regard.
That'd be great.
That would be very positive. We must be doing something right.
I hope so. Yeah, we're trying hard.
Well, sure as hell. I mean, we tried hard yesterday. Unfortunately, our 6th horse didn't try hard in the 8th race. And then what makes me even crazier about that, Terry, is that I said, I always go back and look. It would have been really difficult for me to figure out how to get that 8 to the top of the ticket.
Yeah.
But in the next leg, you had the 1 horse in as one of your picks. I put the 3 horse in because we were talking about inside speed, right, being important. Right. And that 3 horse came in first, paid $30. I think the 1 horse came in second, paid $15 to show. And that exacta for $1 paid $184.
Wow. See, all they have to do is take whatever we have in that last or any of the legs, and if it's like 3 horses, box it for a couple of bucks.
So it drives me crazy that we got the $30 winner and we couldn't close out the pick 4 with that. But you started it, Terry, with the ice cold exacta. So you had I think it was the 6. I don't remember the numbers. 6 and 11, but it went. No, it was 9-11, and it went 9-11, and that was all you had in your top 2 picks. So that worked out fairly well. That's why we always talk about you don't have to pick 4s are difficult to win. Terry and I just do them to give us 4 races to discuss, more opportunities to talk about different things we've learned along the way, handicapping angles, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I had my top pick won the first leg and the second leg.
Me too.
So, and they paid pretty well too.
And I was thinking to myself, the damn 9's not beating us today.
No, we had it two races in a row. So
yes, and then the 8 got us. There's always this high number of horses, right? You know that they say, what was 6 afraid of 7 or something like that?
Yeah.
Because 7, 8, 9.
That's a good one. I never.
Yeah, my kids told me that. Yeah, it's an old joke.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like it.
Stupid joke. You know what else is kind of? I always think about when I hear about horses going out to stud, Terry.
Yeah,
I can't help it, but I always think about Wilt Chamberlain. You heard the stories about Wilt Chamberlain?
How many women he had?
Supposedly, all of his. Yeah. So whenever I hear a horse is going to stud, I think Wilt Chamberlain. And so you got Knicks go after the Breeders' Cup, Terry. So if you want to see Knicks go run one more time, you better make sure you tune into these Breeders' Cup because that's it. Then he's going to go all Chamberlain.
Yeah. It's that's the way it is in horse racing, though. They get like that. This is his best year, of course.
Mm-hmm.
If you look back 2 years ago, and when he was, I guess, a 3-year-old, he didn't do all that well. I don't know why, but this year he's had 4 winners out of 6 starts, so he's done really well.
Well, sometimes they develop a little faster or a little bit slower, right? You see a lot of 2-year-olds that are really good as 2-year-olds, and then the other horses catch up when they're 3 and 4. Basically, I think that's what kind of happens. He's just a late bloomer.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that with my son playing soccer. You see kids that are really good early on, and then he starts playing when he was 5, and by the time they were 18, the kids that were when they were 5 were really good when they were 5 weren't necessarily the good kids when they were 18.
Yeah, I used to play a horse named Brown Bess. I loved that horse. I won a lot of money on the horse, but she didn't do anything at 2 and 3, but at 4 and especially 5, she was like, you couldn't beat her hardly.
Like Latruska, right? Has a horse that kind of just came out of nowhere, and now it's the dominant horse, and very likely Latruska is going to be the horse of the year, especially if she wins the Breeders' Cup.
Yep.
Somebody who's not going to be the jockey of the weekend, at least, is maybe Irad Ortiz. Irad being a little bad. Did you read about that, Terry?
I did. Yeah. He actually bothered that in that race he rode Frenzy Fire, and he bought.
That's the Savage horse, right?
Yeah. And the
one who tried to chew up the other horse that we were watching.
That was it. Yeah. And he actually bothered Baby Yoda quite a bit. And another horse, good effort. But I saw that, and I wondered really why didn't they do some kind of a objection or inquiry? But they never did. But I guess the stewards didn't like the way he did, so they gave him a 3-day suspension. which is going to happen 28th through the 29th. So,
yeah, he's going to do it from Friday through Sunday or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Better than the following week when they would be out at the Breeders' Cup, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
It's I wanted to suspend. I read a couple of days ago when we were doing our live broadcast, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, when he was on a closing horse and he rode it right into a wall and had nowhere to go. And I was on Irad that day. Of course, we always want to blame the jockey when things don't go right.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine in our jobs, Terry, if people were able to watch over us and bet on us, and when we didn't come through, what we would go through? Oh my Lord, that would suck.
It would, yeah,
yes.
It actually would.
It would be god awful. Well, today, Terry, we're going to have to go to a little bit different order with the fly. We're going to start with the 3P parlay today because your first race is race 3 at Finger Lakes, which is going to be early on.
Yeah.
So people who want to go ahead, and how did your Fly 4 do yesterday?
The first race I ran third, then I won the next race, and then I'm sorry, but I didn't look at the last.
Yeah, for me yesterday, my first horse got scratched. My second horse won, and it ended up going from like 3-1 morning line to like 1-2, but it made easy work of the field. And then my third horse actually finished third. So I had all sorts of different things. We're really good at getting stuff canceled, Terry. I don't know how or why that works out, but we are very good at finding places that scratch.
Yeah, I know. It just kind of, it's really irritating to me. So.
It's beyond irritating, right? Just every day there's something we create some sort of havoc, either canceling or lights or fog, or there's always something that's working against us on our 3P parlays. All right, Terry, let's go ahead and get to work on the normal routine of stuff today. Let's talk about your best bet of the day. What happened yesterday?
Okay, my top pick yesterday ran third, paid $3.
And your third pick finished first?
No, third pick. Hey, listen, this is funny. The third pick ran dead last.
Oh, that's not funny.
No, I mean, it's funny that it won 3 days in a row, and then it goes from winning to the very end. So it just had some problems. It was wide, and but But today I'm really excited about Finger Lakes, the third race. I have picked number 6 Fertiland's Prospect, and he just missed by a half a length of winning her last race, and likes the distance, winning one and running second in the other 2. And then I like number 2 Helmer's Run, who has finished in the money in her last 5 races, winning one of those races at today's distance by almost 7 lengths. So it just smashed the field. And then I like number 4 Moments to Savor, drops in class today for this contest, and Joel Cruz returns to ride the horse, and he knows Moments to Savor very well. So
he's on top of that horse before. If you missed Terry's best bet of the day, or we're not, you missed the show for whatever reason, you shouldn't be missing the show. You got work to do, too bad. Turn us on. Follow us on YouTube, hit us that subscribe button and the bell, like us on Facebook. You know the routine.
Yeah.
So Terry picked you can always find Terry's pick on Horse Racing Radar. That's where it's hosted every single day. That's our home, our base, along with guaranteed tip sheets. So make sure you check out those sites. Now, Terry, we're going to go to what we normally do. We're going to do our Fly 4 now. Today's Fly 4, much like your pick of the day, is at Finger Lakes. And I know this is your favorite track of all tracks, Terry, Finger Lakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we decided to do something a little bit different today, to look at a little bit of a different track. So I had a little bit of extra time this morning, so I went through some other things. So the first race is, I think, 1 mile and 40 yards on the main track. So that's race number 6. They've had 17 races at that distance, Terry. 15 of them were won by horses called speed horses. So speed definitely plays a factor there. Looks to me like the rails are kind of fair from 1 through 7. Maybe a little bit of the inside bias. So what I did today, like we do on our live shows, is I went ahead and put together the early pace and late pace analysis. So if you look at race number 6, the early pace, it looks like number 6, Encryption Key, might be the fastest out of the gate, followed by a Special Story. Those 2 are the fastest, and the 1 is next, a little bit behind. The 4 and 2 will be tagging along late. On the way home, the 1 horse has a pretty good advantage over everybody else. Then you have the 2, the 5, and the 4. They're kind of all similar in their late kick, Terry. The 6 will be the first on the way home and then really kind of getting tired on the way in. That's how the race looks like it breaks down in terms of pace to me. Let's go ahead and break down our picks. Who do you like first?
I like number 6, Inscription Key.
The slow one.
Has a high percentage trainer, Micah Ferrano, and a high percentage jockey, Luis Perez. She has the highest last race speed rating, and her early running style can help her chances.
Yeah, she should be, like I said, the fastest out of the gate, Terry. I just worry about maybe not having the legs late to get home. That's the one part that concerns me about the 6 horse. Looking also at the rail is going to be one that hits at a pretty high rate. The 2 horse, I think, scratched out. No, the 2 horses didn't scratch out of this race, right?
2.
It was the 3 horse that scratched out,
yeah.
I think. Yeah. So the 2 horse, Gold Cross, is the horse that's going to be actually on the rail. And does have a lot of early speed. The rail is winning at about 24%. So I think, and then it's also coming off of a little bit of a layoff. It's one of the few horses in the field that's actually had some workouts. Workouts aren't overwhelmingly phenomenal, but Chris Englehart dominates the track. Jockey John Davila has been dominating the track as well. The 2 together win at 30%. So I feel like you got a horse that's going to get out to the front, has a really good chance to go wire to wire, fits the track bias, fits the speed bias, fits all the biases. So I'm going to go ahead and make that a play.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a horse I like a lot. She won 2 of her last 3 races or 4 races, so and won the last race. So
yes, won 5 of 17 at Finger Lakes, and last one was by a wide margin. A little bit shorter than this one though. That last time out. Who else do you like, Terry?
Number 5, Special Story. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And she has a good trainer, Stacy Torelli, who in the last 14 days, 4 mounts, 2 wins, and a third.
Special Story is another one that should get up and out of the gates pretty early. I had it as the 2nd fastest horse. I just like to see a little bit more on the inside. So I think, Terry, we're going to have to battle this one out a little bit later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 5 to the side, and then we're also going to put the 1 to the side.
Good, because I like the 1 too.
Anyway, so because it's really not a deep field here. And I don't want to go way too deep on any legs here because maybe 1, but it seems to me like we should probably get away with 3, maybe 4, maybe 3. If we go 1 or 2 later on, maybe we can go ahead and put 4 in here. So, Ray, is there any other horse that you were considering, or is that it?
No, that was it.
All right, so me too. Race number 7, Terry, is 1 mile and 70 yards on the main track, and much like 1 mile and 40. Speed does play a big role there. What I found is there are 158 races. 109 of them were won by horses that were considered speed, and 41 of the 158 went wire to wire. And there is definitely an inside-out bias. So the closer you are to the rail, the more likely you are to win at this distance and surface. So again, let's take a look at what the early pace and late pace looks like. Killian Rose is probably the fastest horse out of the box. Doesn't have that great of advantage over the 1. They're about the same, Purple Melinda. And then you have the 5 horse, which is a little bit quicker than the 876. On the way home, the 2 horse has a pretty good advantage over the 6, the 7, and the 1, who all have similar numbers. So that's the way they'll get out of the gate. That's the way they have the kind of legs that they'll have late, Terry. So now it's time to go ahead and make our picks. Who do you like in the first leg?
Yeah, I like the number 5, Hot Dame. Ran us second versus similar in the last race. And the trainer, Chris Englehart, wins 18% of the maiden special weight races. And then her early running style should help her chances.
Yeah, this is, to me, a crazy race because I think the 7 horse is the favorite at 3-1. So there's really not a big favorite. No. In terms of which, like from the morning line, the odds maker just is like, let me just throw some numbers on these things and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So again, I like the inside speed, Terry, here because it looks like that is the route to the winner's circle. And to me, looking at it, it's between the 1 and the 3 as the 2 fastest out of the gates.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the 1 because the rail is winning at a crazy 27%.
Okay.
So that's a pretty high route. What did you think about that?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I didn't pick it as one of my horses, but I do like the trainer and doing really well. And like you say, the post is winning at 27%. And he ran a nice third last race, or she did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I won't disagree with that.
All right. Who else do you like? Because to me, this race, Terry, is almost, when I was going through it, I was thinking about you. And the reason I was thinking about you is not because the horses are old and tired. It's because this is definitely an all leg.
Well, it is. Yeah. I had a really hard time with this race. Like even my next one, number 6, Flurry of Roses. Geez, she's a closer and ran third in her last 5 races. And she doesn't, it just seems like, well, is she ever going to, go any further than running third? But I think she's going to do really well today. I just have a good feeling about it. So,
well, I do like the fact that last time out she moved a little bit up the ladder in terms of performance.
Mm-hmm.
Her fractions improved a little bit at the 6 furlong, and that was despite running on a sloppy track. She hit the board 7 of her 11 races lifetime. So the only thing she hasn't figured out how to do is win.
Yeah.
Eventually, like I always say, like Denzel Washington says, if you spend enough time in the barbershop, eventually you're going to get a haircut. This horse has been spending a whole lot of time in the barbershop in terms of in the money, but just hasn't gotten a haircut yet. It's due. The number one gambler's fallacy, it is due.
Yes, I understand.
The other horse I like in this spot here, Terry, is the 2 horse. Again, Inside Speed, Azagar. It's not necessarily the fastest horse. It's probably going to be one of the slower horses, although there's not a whole lot of difference between the fastest horse and the slowest horse in this field. But where there is a difference is the 2 horse. Azagar has a big late kick relative to the rest of the field. So the last race, she moved a little bit forward. She didn't come out of the gate so slowly. Ran second in a field of 5, so it wasn't the deepest field. But then does have a late kick. So I think you're going to see jockey Joelle Cruz move the horse a little bit closer to the front than usual and then use that late kick to come home.
Yeah, I agree. She has the highest last speed rating in the race here. And her dirt speed is close to the average winning speed. She ran that nice second last race out, and she's actually in my picks. So I like her.
Is there any other horse, if there's more scratches, that you would want to put here, or is that it?
Let's see. Did I talk about number 7, Zia Adrilia?
Yeah, that's the only other horse I would consider too.
Yeah, the trainer wins 18% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to the races, and her best dirt speed is the fastest among today's starters.
And this is the jockey favorite too, the morning line favorite. Huh?
Yeah, Jacqueline Davis has won 5 out of 15 races in the last 7 days. So yeah, I like the 7. So it's my third pick.
So that one's off to the side, the morning line favorite, and we got it ditched off to the side because we can't put it in there yet, Terry. I do like the horse as well. It's another one of those horses that just kind of hangs, doesn't like to, but I don't like that last race because there was some serious regression and really no excuse for it. And if you look at the past performance, there's a lot of black bold in front of its name. So that means it's faced a lot of horses in this field and finished behind them over and over and over again. So
that's true.
It has finished in front of some of them as well. So, it's one of those things. I don't like the fact that you had just enormous regression across the board in that last race, which is never a fan favorite of mine. Race number 8, Terry, is a 5.5 furlong race. Again, it's a race that tends to favor speed, as you can imagine, 5.5 furlongs. There's been 165 races, 129 of them won by horses that can giddy up and go right out of the gate. 73 of the 165 winners did so wire to wire. So you better be fast, Terry, if you want to win this one. And if we look at the early pace figures, it looks like the fastest horse out of the gate is going to be number 5, Son of Darkness. It's going to be pretty fast. Followed by a pretty good gap then to the 2 and the 6. On the way home, the 7, the 3, the 4. The 7's a little bit stronger late than the 3 or the 4, but it's pretty close. 2 and 6 won't be that far behind either. So that's what the early pace looks like. That's what the late pace figures look like. Terry, what does your top pick look like?
Number 3, Banyan Breeze. She's won 2 out of her last 4 races, running second in the other 2. And the trainer wins 22% of the time in sprints. Her early running style will help her chances. And again, the trainer in the last 14 days, 11 starts, 4 wins, 3 seconds, and a third.
Yes, and as you remember on the early pace, Banyan Breeze is probably going to be the pace setter. So On the well, no, she'll be in the middle. She does have the bet. I'm looking at the wrong race. I'm looking at race number 7.
Okay.
Race number 8, she does have, I think, Banyan Breeze, the best combination of early pace and late pace of all the horses in the field. Correct. To me, the horse that I'm looking at, Terry, and we talk about this angle pretty regularly. I'm not a fan of the small track, the big track angle. I've talked about that so many times that I probably don't want to talk about it anymore. But I am a fan of the big track to the small track angle, and you have Jolani Brigade coming in from Belmont, making its third start off a layoff, won at Belmont, claiming 35,000 non-winners of 3 lifetime. I have to feel like that allowance 26,000 at Finger Lakes I have a feeling that's kind of actually a step down from claiming 35,000 at Belmont, although it's probably not considered a class drop. Third race off a layoff. The horse hasn't made it 3 races in a row, so I'm not quite sure what to expect from a cycle-wise. But I do think the horse showed some significant improvement in its last race. And if that improvement continues in race number 3 off the bench, then Jolani Brigade makes easy work of this Finger Lakes field.
I agree. She's my second pick, and she has the highest last speed rating of the mounts in here. She also has the best dirt speed, which is the fastest among the starters, tied with one other horse. Mm-hmm. So I like her a lot. Yeah.
To me, Terry, I think these 2 horses that we've identified are the best 2, and I think hands down. But I thought that yesterday about the 6 horse too, but that was in a maiden claiming 10,000, so lowest level at Parks. So I also like the 4 and the 2 here, Panama Paul, which is the 4, and then the 2 is Letter Carrier Henry. So of those 2, Letter Carrier Henry has run 16 times at Finger Lakes. Mm-hmm. And has a pretty solid, much higher speed figure achieved in terms of its peak than the Panama Paul. I do like the inside draw. I do like the fact that the 2 horse is going to get probably the jump on the 4 horse. So I would prefer the 2 over the 4.
Yeah, that's fine with me because they're both horses that I like a lot. And I want to correct something. These are males, not females. I keep calling them she. They're males. So.
All right. So the 4 is your other horse?
Yeah, the 4 and 2 are the 2 horses, my other 2 horses. Yeah, right. So I would take either one. Would be fine.
So I really feel like the 3 of those 6 is going to win this race, and if anybody's going to upset them, I feel like it'll be the 2 because the 2 will get the jump on them, and then have the late legs to come home. To me that's the case, but I don't know. We can maybe throw the 4 in later. So I feel like the next race too, race number 9, and back to 1 mile and 70 yards, where you have again 158 races. Yeah, where 109 of them were won by speed horses and 41 of them were won by horses that go wire to wire. And I feel once again like there's a couple of horses in here that at least 2 horses to me that are standouts relative to everybody else. Not that the other ones can't beat them, but here you can see the early pace for race number 9. Boom and Kitty Bye Bye is the fastest horse, but not much faster than Roxy's Kingdom. Who is a little bit faster than Musical Thunder and Quiet Horizon. On the way home, however, Quiet Horizon has enormous, and I mean enormous, late pace advantage over the rest of the field, followed by Boom and Kitty Bye Bye. And then, but from the Boom Kitty Bye Bye down to Empire Trolley, not much difference, Terry. The 3 horse stands out way above the 2, the 6, and the 8. So for me, Terry, starting this race, the 1 horse, I'm going to start with the 1 horse, Terry. Yay. And that's my top pick for this race. What do you think?
Oh, it's my top pick too. She ran second rim versus similar in her only start, and it was a nice race. She has the highest last race speed rating. Rail Post is winning at 27% of the clip. The trainer wins 24% of the time when he goes from a sprint to a route. She was heavily bet in her debut, and she'll improve, I think, with Lasix added today. She has a high percentage jockey, so she checks all the boxes.
Which scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, or he does.
It's a lot of times the obvious.
Yeah, turns out doesn't work.
Not so obvious anymore. Yeah, I like the fact that it's a first-time Lasix. I'm going to like, honestly, better. I'm really more of a fan of the first-time Lasix on speed and fade than I am on closing. But it should help the closing as well, have a little bit more stamina late. I do like the fact that the horse got its debut, ran the top last race speed figure. To me, that's about the only way I really like the horses that are just one race before. I want to see that big number. The other horse for me here, Terry, is the 4 horse.
Yes.
And that is Boom Kitty Bye Bye. As I mentioned, it's probably going to be the horse that's out of the gate the fastest, but it has the second best late pace figure. So I think Boom Kitty Bye Bye is going to be Boom Kitty up towards the front and staying near the front all the way from the pillar to post or post to pillar.
Yeah, we're thinking a lot alike because that's my second pick. She finished third versus Tougher in her last race, and the trainer wins 29% of the time when he's taking a horse down 2+ classes, and it switches to high percentage jockey John Davila.
Yeah, Davila. So outside of these 2 horses, Terry, who I feel like sometimes I worry about those class drops, though they concern me a little bit because they paid $60,000 for this horse. Now they want to give it up for $5,000. That doesn't make much sense to me, but okay. Maybe you and I should go buy it.
Maybe.
At least, maybe I can put up $1. You got the other $49.99.
Okay.
Any other horse here?
I like the 7. Although the first 2 we talked about I think are pretty solid. But I like the 7, has a high percentage trainer. That's Molabimbi. Anyway, it has
Mullenbibby. We'll go with Mullenbibby.
Yeah. Has Michael Ferreira and jockey Luis Perez. Drops in class today, and the trainer wins 62% of the time. The second time he runs a horse on the route, and it should this horse should return
to form.
Returning to a route should be an improvement for it. So
yeah, to me, Terry, the 7 doesn't have early pace. There's some pretty bad regression, although the trainer is dropping the horse 2 classes. Only won 1 of 12 that way.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of regression at all. I'm not. To me, I would rather have something I know that I can count on, and that's early pace. Roxy's Kingdom last time out was the first time that it ran a route. Showed a lot of early pace and then kind of faded towards the end. I expect that you're going to see the horse second time around still show some early pace, which is the way to win at 1 mile and 70 yards at Finger Lakes. And I expect in the second race at a route, you're going to see the horse be able to hold its speed even longer than it did last time out.
Yeah, it did really well in that 1 mile and 40. First time it went a distance, and it actually performed pretty well. So I don't have a problem with that one.
All right, so let's put that in here. Let's take a look at what we spent so far, Terry. So we have 6 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 24. So 24 times 3 is 72. So we're only at $36 right now. Which leg do you feel like? To me, the most open leg is race number 7.
Yeah, it's pretty open. Let's put the 7 in there.
You want to put this? So we're basically all that field right there.
Yeah.
All right. So then in race number 8, do you think we need anything beyond the 3 and the 6? And the 2, the 3, 6, and 2? I personally don't.
No, I really don't.
So the last leg, we don't want to come home without a winner, right? So we might as well add the 7 in the last leg, even though I don't think he's got a shot.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that puts us at, where are we at now? Hold on a second. And that puts us at 5 times 3 is 15 times 4 is 60. So we're at $60, Terry. We can probably add the 5 or the 1 to the first leg to go a little bit deeper, which we probably should think about doing. I'm a fan of early speed in the first leg, Terry, and it looks to me like it's a toss-up between the 5 and the 1, although the late pace belongs to the 5 and the inside posts have an advantage over the outside posts.
Yeah.
All that tells me I'd rather have the 1 than the 5. Which would you rather have?
I'd rather have the 1. It was an entry, and they scratched the other part of the entry, and my angle is whenever they do that, usually that other the entry that stays does very well. So I'd rather have the 1.
So we got 45 times 4, Terry. I already know what that's going to work out to be. That's $90. That's the maximum we can go on this.
Yep.
So we're going to put the 4 off to the side, the 5 off to the side. So let's hope we hit some bombs today, Terry.
It'd be very nice.
In race number 6, we like the 1, the 2, and the 6, focusing on that inside speed, where inside speed tends to win. Race number 7, we want 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7. I don't know if there's any other horse in that field. And honestly, that's the best race. I think that's the race we might catch a price in, because
It is, yeah.
even the morning line guy says 3-1 is the best that he can do.
Yep.
Race number 8, we both agree the 3 and the 6 are the likely low-priced favorites to win because they look like the best horses. The 2 horse we think could get to the front and maybe steal the race. On the way home, we like the 1, the 4, the 6, and the 7, Terry. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good ticket. So looks great to me.
Parks, I mean, so if you want to watch Parks, you probably should sign up for an account at like Bet Us or one of those international kind of offshore things. Or you can, they used to have HRTV, which doesn't exist anymore. It's part of TVG.
TVG2.
TVG2. Sometimes you can also find them if you go to the Parks website. Sometimes they live stream the Parks, the tracks live stream their races too. So otherwise, the best thing to do is just sign up for a free account someplace, and then you can watch the races live there.
Yep, that's true. Sure.
That's it, because that's where I watch them either on my Twin Spires account or my TVG account. And I bet pretty regularly, but a lot of times I'm not betting because I'm doing other things and I'm watching the races there.
Well, you can watch them on TV if you have TVG in your TV cable system. So,
all right, Terry. So here's our hot dog pick 4s. You went with the 1, 5, 6. I went with the 1, 2, 5, and 6. So I added the 2 horse there. On race number 7, you went 5, 6, 7. I went 1, 2, 6, 7. Tossed out the 5. You went 3, 6. I just soloed the 6. I was not sure if I wanted to solo the 6 in this leg or the 1 in the next leg, but we both went 1, 4 in the last leg. Your pick 4 for a hot dog is $18, Terry. Mine is $16.
Yep.
There are a couple ways that we can make it all the way through, both on the hot dog pick 4 and the fly 4.
Yeah, there are. So, and don't forget, folks, you can play superfectas or trifectas or exactas, doubles. There's all kinds of other ways. Pick 3s. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot you can do with these picks. Don't have to just do the pick 4.
Well, yeah, like I said, we do the pick 4. That way we can discuss the most races.
Yeah.
And then put some ideas out there and talk a little bit about handicapping angles, and hope to hear from you. If there's some things that you'd like for us to talk about, let us know. You can email me directly, gtsrichb@gmail.com. As I mentioned, getting a few emails lately. Appreciate that. When do you start? Can we advertise? We really appreciate that one, right, Terry?
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, we'll let you go with one final thing today, our free track of the day, Terry, for free picks. If you go over to horseracingradar.com or the guaranteed tip sheet, you can find the free picks. You'll see when you hit the premium picks page, the down red arrow belongs to Penn National. And then you'll click on that and you'll see this. So you'll end up getting Penn National's picks for tonight. Last night or yesterday, Terry, our free picks were Grants Pass, your favorite track on the planet. One that Terry helped design, actually, the new one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So, but when you look at Grants Pass yesterday, free picks, the pick 4, the late pick 4, Terry, paid $425.80, and we had it in our selection. So
yes, we did. Yeah, it was very.
So they weren't free; they paid.
That's right. So you got it for free, and you could have made some money. Put it in your team.
If you were up to do the Grants Pass thing, I know probably a lot of people watching the Buffalo Bills coach make a really silly decision, in my opinion, to go for it on 4th down to try to win the game at the very end.
Yeah.
When you're down 3, you take the field goal, folks, if you feel like you're the better team. If you feel like the other team's better than you are, then you try for it.
That's right.
I think that was a bad sort of a bad statement to his own squad.
Yeah.
We don't make any bad statements here, though, Terry.
Oh, no. Ours are all just perfect.
Yes, indeed. And the most perfect statement is, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. We can't tell you to do it, but if you like it, the thumbs up moves us up the algorithms. It means more people will have exposure to us, and more people maybe want to advertise them.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook. That'll notify you when we go live, and follow us on Twitter so you can see all the great stuff Sean's got lined up for us for the week ahead. Any other final thoughts, Terry, before we get up and out of here and come back in 23 and 30?
Just want everybody to have a good day, be safe, and win lots of money, end up in the winner's circle.
Yes, stuff your pockets full of cash.
That's it.
That's the idea. One final thing. Tomorrow, Terry and I will be back again. Same time, 1 o'clock Eastern, same bat channel, Horse Racing Radar TV. But tomorrow we're adding another leg because we're going to do Keeneland for our pick 4. And we're also going to include that $3 pick 3 at Keeneland.
Right.
If you want us to highlight your picks, please send them to us on gtsridgeby@gmail.com or put them on Twitter or Facebook, and we'll make sure that we bring them up on the show.
Yep, that works.
That's it, my friend Terry, right?
That's it.
I think we covered it all. As always, it's my pleasure, everybody. Terry and I both hope that you have a fantastic Tuesday and that all your picks end up in the
winner's circle.
Have a great Tuesday, everybody.
Yep.